This is part 5 of our teaching on Yahuah Rapha is our healer. And I'm going to read again from Exodus chapter 15, verse 26. And this particular verse is when Yahuah reveals himself as Yahuah Rapha, which translated would mean Yahuah, your healer. And I'm going to again start reading in verse 26. And he said, if you would diligently hearken to the voice of Yahuah, your Almighty One, and do that which is right in his sight, and give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of the diseases upon you, which I have brought upon the Egyptians, for I am Yahuah that healeth thee. Now, that's the English part here, the English translation, I am Yahuah that healeth thee. The healeth thee is actually, where it says that healeth thee, is really Yahuah Rapha. That's what the Hebrew actually says. So it doesn't really say that healeth thee, but that's what his name translated would mean. Yahuah Rapha, your healer. Yahuah Rapha is a revelation that Yahuah is making himself known, that this is who he is. You know, Yahuah is his name. It's in our scriptures over 7,000 times. But the part that's a revelation, nude revelation to the children of Yasharel, is that he's also Yahuah, their healer. See, Yahuah has revealed himself throughout the Tanakh and throughout the New Testament, or the Brit Hadashah, as he's constantly revealing himself and who he is. And this verse right here that says Yahuah Rapha, he's letting the children of Yasharel know that he will be their physician, that he will heal their bodies, that he will provide and take care of them when sickness has come to them. He will be their physician. He will be the one that they turn to and look to. And in fact, we find this throughout the scriptures, that it's a part of the covenant that Yahuah has made with Abraham, and we are partakers of that covenant. Those that have put their faith in the Mashiach, in the Messiah, then we also have access through that covenant for physical healing of our bodies. Now, I mentioned in our last session that I was going to get into in the New Testament, in Mark chapter 5, where the Mashiach, Yahusha, heals a woman with the issue of blood. And I'm going to read from the Gospel of Mark chapter 5, and I'm going to start reading at verse, 25. And it says, a certain woman had an issue of blood 12 years, and had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was nothing better, but grew worse. When she heard of Yahusha, she came in the press behind and touched his garment. For she said, if I but touch his clothes, I shall be whole, or I shall be healed. And straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of that plague. And Yahusha, immediately knowing in himself that virtue had gone out of him, turned about in the press, and said, who touched my clothes? And his disciples said unto him, you see the multitude thronging thee, and you say, who touched me? And he looked around about to see her that had done this thing. But the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what was done in her, came and fell down before him, and told him all the truth. And he said unto her, daughter, your faith has made you whole. Go in peace, and be whole of your plague. Now, there's some things that are very important in these verses that I've read that we're going to sort of dissect and go through here. And first of all, I want you to notice that this woman that had this issue of blood for 12 years, that's a long period of time, and she had spent everything that she had on doctors, physicians, trying to get better. And instead of getting better, she got worse. You know, there's a lot of people in that situation today that they spend all their money trying to get well, and go to every doctor, and nothing seems to get better. They even grow worse. And you know, in situations like that, people become desperate, and they'll do whatever it needs to be done to get well. And so this woman, it says here that when she had heard of Yahushua, now here's something that's very important. She must have heard something in her that she realized that about Yahushua, that she realized that if I just touch the hem of his garment, I'm going to be made whole. Now, she had to be hearing that miracles were taking place and that Yahushua was going about healing the sick. In fact, if you read through the different Gospels, you'll find out, as it's stated in Acts chapter 10, verse 38, that Yahuah had anointed Yahushua of Nazareth with the Ruach, and he went about doing good and healing all that were oppressed of Shaitan, of the devil. So she must have heard that this Yahushua, his name Yahushua, the Mashiach, was going about healing the sick. Well, she knew that if she just, her faith was being, had elevated to the fact that she said, if I just touch the hem of his garment, I'm going to receive healing. I'm going to be made whole. And that's exactly what happens. She actually forces her way through the crowd to touch the hem of his garment. And Yahushua turns about and says, someone's touched me. And the disciples said, you see the multitude thronging you, and you say, who touched me? There was people constantly around him. He was being surrounded and mobbed by the crowds. But there was someone who put a demand, who put on her faith, who touched him, placed a demand on his power. And she received in her body the healing that she was seeking for. And I want you to notice that Yahushua made a statement. He said to the woman, daughter, your faith has made you whole. Now notice he didn't say, daughter, it was me who made you whole. He said, your faith made her whole. See, you have to understand that faith has something to do with you in receiving your healing. The source of our healing is Yahuah. He is Yahuah Rapha, our healer. But it also takes a part, we have a part to play in this, and that we have to have faith and trust that he is who he says he is, and we go to him and we seek him for our healing. We've already talked about the fact is that you have to know that it's the will of Yahuah to heal you is the first step in receiving your healing. You've got to know beyond a shadow of a doubt the willingness of Yahuah to heal you. And once that's settled in your heart, then faith is at the point, will elevate you to the point of you receiving. And the next step would be for you to release your faith, to make a contact of faith, in order for that power to flow and to come into your body, and for you to receive your healing and to drive out whatever sickness and disease that's attached itself to your body, for you to be made whole. Now, I'm going to pick back up because we're running out of time on our recording here, but I'm going to pick back up on this because we've got a whole lot more to say about this aspect of faith and how that is the connection in order for you and I to tap into the power of Yahuah's healing power. And we're going to talk about how this woman, by her faith, did exactly that, and that she received her healing, and she did it. She released her faith even before she touched the hem of his garment. She said, if I just touch the hem of his garment, I shall be whole. She didn't say I might be. She didn't say there's a good chance. She didn't say if it's Yahuah's will. She said, if I touch the hem of his garment, see, she already knew his will. She just said she just had to find a place of contact, a point of contact to be able to release her faith. And once she did, she received what she was seeking after. Well, we've got to close here. We'll pick back up on our next session. Thank you for joining us. Share this with others. And just continue to let others know that if they need healing in their bodies, to listen. Go back and listen to the other sessions that we've done. Don't just listen to one or this one. You got to go back to all the ones that we've recorded, so you can get all that you need to understand about Yahuah Rapha, our healer. And so until next time, you continue to study the Word, stay in the Word, let the Word transform your thinking so you begin to realize that it's the will of Yahuah for you to be made whole and healed. So I love you. Yahuah loves you. And we'll join together on our next session and look forward to that with you. Yahuah's blessing be upon you. Shalom.